incredibly important. As you can see on Steven's aircraft here, he has a right-hand circular polarized antenna, and on his monitor, he has, a right-hand helical and a right-hand panel antenna. This allows Steven to get the best video quality so he can ensure that he gets all the photos he needs out of this aircraft and they're exactly what he wants, without interference, without drop signal, without any of that.
And so you've got a video downlink transmitter and it's talking to this thing here, which is a 7-inch monitor made by FlySight, the same company I mentioned a minute ago. And it's called the Black Pearl, but the key thing is this one is rebranded by DSLR Pros right on the other side here. They install their own firmware, and it's a much better operating device than the one you get straight from the FlySight factory, if you will. Two antennas because there's two, it's called the diversity system. It means there's two independent channels that are being broadcast, and the receiver in here continually monitors both channels and displays the one that's getting the strongest signal.
Right.
So that's that,
and there are diversity transmitters out there as well. They just get very expensive and heavy, well, not incredibly heavy, but they do add a lot of weight and power consumption to the aircraft. So
another place where you have lots of choices is on the radio controller. This is a pretty high-end one. It's a Catawba T18MZ. It's got a very large, colored, high-res touchscreen that makes it really easy to program. A lot of these things, menus are hard to understand, and you almost always have to pull the manual out if you forget, I forget how to do this one thing. This one, you almost never have to pull out the manual. It's very self-evident because of the really nice screen. A lot of other really good things about this. The other thing is that this one is configured so that the throttle is not, the right-hand stick returns to center, self-centering. The throttle stick can be configured self-centering, but you have to send it back to the factory to have it done. Or you can do it yourself if you don't. I'm sure you can probably do it. But
yeah, I'm going to I'll take care of it for you.
Sweet, okay. I prefer self-centering, but other pilots prefer having one that's not self-centering. It's completely a preference that you have to develop on your own. I like it self-centering because if I get distracted for a moment and take my finger off of it, it centers, meaning that the aircraft is going to hover right where it is instead of going up or down. So that's a choice. The other reason to choose this is that it has 18 channels, and you need all 18 channels to access all of the functions of the aircraft, the gimbal, and the camera. So I can tell you how to program that if you need to. There's a couple of other little tips I wanted to talk about. Well, one more just piece of equipment. Obviously, one of their most important parts to the aircraft is the battery. I'm flying a 21 amp hour, 21,000 milliamp hour battery. These things weigh about 5 pounds. It goes in the back here. This will give me between 15 and 20 minutes of flight time, depending upon altitude and wind speed and the nature of your flight in terms of aggressive maneuvers. Okay? Lots of choices out there for batteries. The other way to do it, which Ryan will talk about, is to fly 2 batteries in parallel, which has an element of safety redundancy that I think is really smart. The final tip I want to give you, this is the one, you might not remember all these numbers and things that we talk about, but these are glasses that I use to fly. They're called, this is the one thing I would write down if you're going to be out there flying. I don't own any stock in the company. It's called Eagle Eyes. Eagle Eyes. And they're not polarized. People think, oh, polarized. Polarized makes it harder to see your aircraft. But I can be out 400, 500, 600 feet, and I'm looking around. I can't see my aircraft. I put these on, and boom, it just almost pops out. It almost goes from being invisible to visible. They're just remarkable. These particular ones have bifocals. which I need, but in fact I'm going to get another pair that doesn't have them because they kind of just get in the way and I don't use it. So Eagle Eyes, I got them from Hammond or Schlimmer, but I think you can probably get them from Amazon as well. Ryan, I think at this point I'll give it over to you, and Ryan's going to talk about his aircraft, which is a little bit different configuration and application than mine.